from the Pacific Northwest. Welcome to Iterable's live product tour. This is a chance for you to view the product in action and ask product questions directly to our experts. Today we will have Kara joining us to talk through SMS. Our goal here is to give you a look at the core functionality of the product. Iterable is an amazing product. From month to month, we'll highlight key features of the product. Today's SMS. If you're not familiar with Iterable, Iterable is an AI-powered customer communications platform. It's truly multi-channel. You have all your own channels orchestrated and activated in one place. That includes email, SMS, push, embedded, and WhatsApp recently launched this year. We've got some amazing brands that we work with. Some of those include REI, Redfin, Volvo, Fabletics, to name a few. This morning, we're having a few technical difficulties, so we got started late. Apologies for that. So the LinkedIn live stream is not up today. We're just on the YouTube side of things. If you're not a subscriber of our page, subscribe to the page so you can see when we've got new content releasing and join us when we're doing live events like this. If you have questions throughout the session, please put them in the comments, and after the live product tour, we'll come back on and bring any questions up for Kara to answer. So with that, let's bring our presenter on stage. Good morning. Actually, I guess afternoon for you, Kara.
Good afternoon for me now.
Yes. Thanks for being here. You are close to your 4-year anniversary here at Iterable.
I am.
A great thing about working at Iterable is after 4 years, you get a sabbatical. So you've got that coming up. What do you have planned?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I haven't booked the flights yet, but looking to do a liveaboard for scuba diving out in Southeast Asia. So excited for that.
So fun. There's a lot to love about Iterable, SMS being one of them. What's your favorite feature or part of the Iterable platform?
Yeah, I personally really like journeys. I've worked in MarTech for close to 8 years now, and I feel like I've worked in different types of journey tools, and I think Iterable does a great job with just highlighting some of the small, like nice to have features, like life improvements of, like, instead of just copying all these tiles one at a time, you can multitask and do it all together, or save them and insert them. So yeah, I'm excited to show some of that today.
All right, well, let's dive in.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having also some technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. Should be going through it now. All right. So what we're looking at here, I know today we're focusing really on SMS as the main driver. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of kick things off with just how do we start building SMS templates? SMS is just one of many channels that Iterable supports for full cross-channel functionality. And what's great about this is that you can just easily come in, no code setup, and start writing out what would that SMS message be. So we have here a nice welcome message. You'll be able to set what type of message that is coming in. If you have multiple numbers, you can have different senders selected. And then moreover, you can actually start defining what that looks like. We have some dynamic content coming in, so you can personalize all of your messages, as well as link shortening can be turned on to really reduce the character count on a per message basis. And then you'll have that full rendered view here on the right for both iOS as well as Android phones. Iterable supports not just standard SMS, but actually MMS for multimedia. So I can drop in an image. I can actually drop in a GIF. And so if we expand this message out, you'll see my GIF now waving at me. Again, you can render that for iOS and Android phones. And a couple of other really cool features, contact cards can actually be appended to your messaging so that you can pass along that contact card so users can save it very easily, so that for future SMS messages coming out, it doesn't look necessarily too spammy. You'll have specific types of compliance language that can also be appended in. And then, of course, link tracking. So we have that link shortening ability, but also if you have Google Analytics set up for specific click tracking, you'll be able to customize those UTM parameters, as well as any additional link parameters you might want to add here at the bottom. Now, for overall rendering, we can actually look at sending this out for proof. You can easily duplicate this as a new template. All templates actually get saved in the template library here for quick management and easy kind of navigation through maybe different golden assets that you might have set up. And you can also preview this. You can send this as a test message to yourself, to that of a colleague, or even preview what this looks like with that data coming in. So if I bring in a specific user profile, you can actually see now that it's being rendered here. So we're looking at some of that personalization coming in from that user profile. So I talked a little bit about that user profile. Iterable has a super flexible data structure in terms of all the data that you can store with us. It's really the backbone of the platform and really underpins all the features and functionality for driving audience targeting, like segmentation, specific personalization, dynamic content, and triggering of automations and real-time messages. So within segmentation, we could actually take some of this data and start rolling it up into helping users understand their audience more. We can bring some specific AI features in, such as just quick audience description. So you can look at this, what maybe is some of the attributes that I'm pulling in from both events and user fields, and saying, give me every user who has a high account balance, who's been pretty active in the past 30 days, but actually is not a part of our premium offering. So you can see that description here. And so AI actually takes a couple of key areas throughout the platform that I'll highlight, really around major updates that we're making. It's really exciting. But this could be that audience then that I'm using to send a specific message to. And so when we look at that overall campaign setup, a little bit different than your traditional more template setup, you can actually have two different types of messaging coming out for both marketing and transactional SMS. And it could be a blast campaign, really great for promotional content, maybe announcements of a sale or specific promotions that are going on, but also API triggered messages, which are more of the transactional updates. Hey, your order has shipped, specific confirmation details that can be shared out via SMS. Now, if I'm setting up the promotion itself for this particular campaign, you'll notice a couple of key things. It's actually a pretty simple 4-step process to set up not just SMS campaigns, but any iterable campaign for any message, email, mobile push, in-app, in-browser. So we first can select our audience. I have multiple options for both suppression as well as send criteria. You can see that I've pulled them in here. And we can then also define conversion events and experiments. You can have actually multiple types of conversion events. So maybe I want to bring in that they've registered for their account, but they've also gone and made an account upgrade as 2 potential conversion events. And you can set up that attribution model here. And if you want, you can also convert this into an experiment. We won't get into experiments today, but that is a full other area of the platform that can help marketers understand their audience and do full testing cross-channel. Once I've saved this, we can actually define what that delivery is. Iterable supports not only options for frequency capping, but also things like quiet hours. So we're delivering at the right time for users, not to disturb them out of their own expected hours here, which is pretty cool. Now I can also decide what kind of content I want. If I want to start from scratch, or perhaps maybe bring in that SMS message we saw a bit earlier. And because this is using that template feature, I can actually define the content here without disturbing or changing the underlying template that is stored in my template library. Once I'm happy, I can go ahead, save this, pull this directly into the content here, and get this ready for deployment. And this could be either for that review, something that gets sent out immediately, or we can actually schedule this out. So if you're looking to build out kind of an editorial calendar, things we're setting out in a future date, easily able to set that up from this view. And finally, where does this come together, right? What we're looking at here is more of that one-off campaign or transactional message. But as I said, my favorite area of the platform is actually our journey builder known as Studio. And so this is really where I think all of the magic happens. You can build out any automation for any of your channels. You can actually start bringing multiple channels into this view, as you'll see I'll do today. Now, every journey needs a trigger. So we can actually see that there are a couple of different options. You get a ton of flexibility in Iterable for deciding how a specific journey kicks off. In this case, this is a welcome series. So we have this journey getting triggered by when an account gets created. Maybe a user registers and signs up. When we create this journey, you'll notice a couple of key things on the right. We have the ability to bring in not just email or SMS, but any sort of mobile channels, web channels, content for driving both across mobile or web. We actually support 6 different channels across web and mobile that can be brought into this journey here, in addition to that WhatsApp view that we'd mentioned earlier. Now, when we're looking at the overall setup, I have this as an email and SMS journey. You'll notice here that we have the email template being pulled in. If I double click into that SMS, we can see that welcome message here with that expanded option for my nice little GIF waving at us for that SMS updates. And so if you need to make changes to this, you can easily edit this or preview this with that data that we saw earlier. So it allows for seamless integration between the templates that you're creating, as well as the content that you're bringing in to any of your journeys or campaigns. Now we have a number of options for how we're going to maybe manage the time. We don't want to oversend to folks, especially around SMS. That's a very important channel to be conscientious of. We can then manage if it's a set time period. Maybe let's give them a break. 3 days should be enough. Or if we want to make it a relative date off of a set time period. Or in this case, just wait until an action event has occurred until we move on to that next step. So you have a lot of options for how you're catering to your users and building out a very customized journey. I also want to understand in this new user sign-up flow that we're making sure we're driving users to complete their user profile. So I've built in a couple of key pieces of criteria where they've actually completed these different steps of their onboarding sequence. They've connected their bank account, they've updated their saved payment method, and also confirmed phone number. So once these updates have occurred, great. They don't need to be bothered further. We can actually set that here for a nice thank you. But in this case, maybe they haven't, so they need a little bit of another nudge. One of my favorite kind of nice life improvements is actually the ability to build in tile sets. So instead of dragging in tons of different tiles, I can actually save this and start bringing this in one fell swoop. So in this case, we're looking at a setup for email and SMS, where I can actually say, did somebody engage with this previously sent email? Great. If they did engage with that email, let's keep sending them email. SMS, it's a fantastic channel, super high engagement rates, but it is one of the most expensive marketing channels that companies can use. So we often support customers with employing strategies to be more careful and kind of strategic around how they're setting up SMS. So they're using that channel to hit that user with the right channel at the right time. This is that more manual option, but perhaps I want to actually bring in Iterable AI. So not only can I use Journey Assist to help me generate tiles and make updates for building out journeys with the more generative AI here, I can actually also just bring in our channel optimization, which allows me to say, hey, Iterable AI, instead of me manually curating this filter of how I want users to go down one path or the other, I can actually have Iterable AI do that for me and send to that user looking at core behavioral data based on how that user's engaged in the past and what most likely they're going to engage with in the future. So again, you have both the options to have AI support you as well as building that out a little bit more traditionally. Now, in that, we can bring in additional tile sets. This is a huge one here, but you can see that I have, again, that time-saving measure to build out options for me for maybe giving them a break. Let's give a 2-day wait before we do some channel testing. So as I said earlier, Iterable has experimentation built completely into the platform, not only for content testing, which is more of the traditional marketing option, but also journey testing. You can test completely different sections of your journey. I could actually delete this and pull in a whole nother area to customize this journey flow. So now that I have testing across 3 different options for how a user might engage with my content here. And this is just a quick channel test, but it can be very flexible for whatever you need it to be. And then looking at, again, did they complete that profile? Yes, no. If not, we can actually send them to a post onboarding journey. So I know you went through a pretty quick and basic welcome series, but if I zoom out a little bit here, you can actually see just how granular Iterable can support different types of journeys and sending here, allowing marketers to really be in control of the types of content they want to be sending. The last thing I'll point out, not only do we have collaborative options like leaving sticky notes or making published updates, I can also bring in specific exit criteria. So if I'm looking to actually understand, exit rules, I can say, give me conversion metrics when a user makes a purchase or signs up for, that account upgrade. That could be part of the conversion metrics, not just applied to individual campaigns, which could be a bit time consuming or cumbersome to manage, but you can set global criteria for conversions right here on the journey level, not just for conversions, but then more importantly, for exit rules. And so in this case, once that user completes their profile or upgrades their account, we can pull them from this journey in real time so they're no longer being, maybe harassed with additional messaging, prompting them to complete these onboarding steps. And so these are, again, some of the small features I think Iterable does really well with highlighting these options for users that maybe are not existent or a little bit more clunky to use in other types of solutions. And that kind of goes hand in hand with how we might make updates. I can actually easily save this draft, get prompted as to maybe options that messages that I have incomplete, some of the guardrails in place to do that safety check. I can also do that journey testing and full publishing of this journey without making users repeat the journey or accidentally get lost or dropped or restart things. So we'll actually hold them in place as this journey is getting live published. So you can have users pass through seamlessly from one step of the journey to the other. And so this is really everything around SMS. You saw today how we can create specific user templates, and then also the ways that kind of gets powered through data, through audience building, segmentation, some of the data stored on those user profiles as fields and events. And then more importantly, how that comes together when we're crafting an SMS campaign, transactional marketing, as well as live in journeys for that full cross-channel journey automation.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kara. You tackled a lot in a short amount of time. Well done. I got a couple questions for you here, actually a few. The first one is around how does Iterable ensure messages are sent at the optimal time in each channel?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we saw kind of a teaser of that in the journey itself, where you can store kind of quiet hours, but also build in filtering criteria to really target the users that you want to be going after based on like that time zone. So you can build in a lot of kind of time environments or time kind of tiles to manage that cadence.
Great. And then a more technical question. There are different types of numbers you can use in SMS, long code,
Yeah.
short code, TFNs. What type of SMS numbers are supported in Iterable?
Yeah, so the great thing about Iterable, we support native SMS across all of them. So we have long codes, short codes, toll-free numbers. And what's great is that we actually have a full implementations team that can help you, set any of those numbers up, especially with the traditional difficulties that customers might have around setting up short codes. Long process, but we're there for you to help you set that up at every step of the way.
Awesome. And then a similar tactical question here is, does Iterable support both transactional and marketing SMS?
Yeah, that's a great question. And oftentimes folks come to us. It's not an uncommon one, but yeah, Iterable supports both marketing and transactional SMS with like more of a best practice around setting up different codes, phone codes for each of those message types.
Awesome. Those are the questions we have this morning. Thank you so much for presenting for us.
Yeah.
Apologies for the viewers for the issues on LinkedIn. Hopefully you're able to join us on YouTube. If you have any questions for our team or you want to get connected and learn more about Iterable that's custom for you, you can visit iterable.com/demo and get connected with our team there. Appreciate it. We'll see you in a month. Thank you.